All right, here we are. The moment we've all been waiting for, at least I have. And so today's episode, unfortunately, is not going to have any cleaning because it was a request from Amanda, and I hope I'm going to pronounce this last name correctly, but Quackenbush, I think is the correct name. And don't laugh at people's last names. It's not fun. Your last name is Udy. So Amanda wanted us to do a episode on, I guess, how we got started into business, or more or less, we decided to do kind of a Q&A. So we opened it up to questions a couple days ago, and I'm sure we're going to have a lot more pouring in. So the first thing I want to say is, if you are watching this and you think of other questions, please put them in the comment section below, and we can either answer them in there, or what we'll probably do is maybe do a video just like this next weekend or next month or next year, or update this as the questions come in. But we had some really, really good questions come in. Several people participated, so I wrote them all down, and we're going to jump right in and answer them. So thank you guys so much for watching. Do you have anything to say before we start this?
No, let's do it.
Number one, okay, we're going to start off with Amanda's questions because she's the reason we're doing this. So thank you, Amanda. You and your husband are probably, one or both of you is in the Marine Corps maybe, because I saw that little badge on your picture, and you're talking about or thinking about possibly getting into the carpet cleaning industry. So first off, I just want to say congratulations. That's awesome. We've helped several people get into carpet cleaning, and several of them are now full-time and do this for that's what they do. So you had some really good questions. 5 of them, we'll jump right in. First one is, how much out-of-pocket fees did it cost you to start up your business?
Oh, you want me to answer that?
Angela can answer that one.
I think, Dan's done a video before where he talked about how he got into the business. So Dan was in the military, he was in the Navy, and he was working part-time at Ruby Tuesdays. And this carpet cleaning company came in to clean the carpets, and Dan hired that company to come clean his carpets at his house. And of course, Dan loves to talk, started asking questions about the carpet cleaning business, and the guy said he was looking to sell it. So that intrigued Dan. Dan, I don't want to say you love money, but you...
The love of money is the root of all evil.
No. You, I guess, are always trying to find ways to make more income and things like that. Anyways, he became intrigued, and he worked for him for, a couple of days or a week?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks he worked for him to see exactly how much the business was making, and if the guy was telling the truth of what he told Dan how much it was making. And I think he sold it $50,000. So the business had already been in... A-1 Carpet Care had been established for 7 years prior to the original owner. And, he said for $50,000 you can buy the business, so right, $50,000?
Yep, $50,000.
And he allowed Dan to make payments while he was still in the military. So Dan made payments for that until it was paid off early.
A year early, yeah.
A year early. And that included a van, all the equipment, some accounts. I don't know how many.
A lot of accounts, yeah.
And that's basically what it cost him.
Yep.
Besides insurance and...
I mean, the question is worded kind of interesting, too. You said, how much out-of-pocket fees did it cost? So technically, 0, because what I ended up doing, I went to the Small Business Administration. They tried to talk me out of it, actually. This woman, I'll never forget. She said, oh, you should stay in the military and do this part-time. And I was thinking, you don't know me. But and I've never sought out anything from the Small Business Administration people since then. That was a huge turnoff to me. But I pursued a lot of different avenues in terms of trying to get traditional financing and even some creative financing to no avail. And finally, the guy that was selling it, his name was David, probably still is. I don't think he's had a name change. Yeah. Last I heard, he's still cleaning carpets in Louisiana too. But anyway, he said if I could come up with $15,000 down, he would finance me the other $35,000 interest-free for 2 years, which the payments worked out to be right around, I think, $1,500 a month. So the only problem I had was I didn't have $15,000 cash. So I borrowed that much money against my home. second mortgage or home equity line of credit. I don't remember which one. All I remember was signing paperwork saying that I was borrowing money for home improvement and it was not to be used for the purchase of a business. And then I turned right around and bought the business. But hopefully that answers your question. If not, put a follow-up. The next question...
Or are you wanting to know how much does it take to start a carpet cleaning business? Because that's a totally different thing.
And the truth is, to answer that more honestly, you can start a carpet cleaning business for less than $10,000, probably $5,000. And it would be, that's a shoestring, not recommended. A buddy of mine that I served with in the Navy is in the process of transitioning out of the military, and he's got $100,000 to start his carpet cleaning business, and he's reached out to me, and I'm in the process of helping him invest that. Shout out to my boy if you're watching. But you know, it ranges. The more the merrier. The more money you can pump into your business in the beginning stages, the more higher chance of it producing cash flow right out the gate, which is your next question. How long before you saw cash flow? Angela, I'm sure she knows the answer to this one as well. But that was she kind of answered it. I went to work for David for 2 weeks for free to find out how much it was making because his books were a disaster. He said it was making between $80,000 and $100,000 a year. And after 2 weeks, I could see that it was certainly making exactly that much or more. So I stepped into cash flow right out the gate, as will anybody who starts into the business. I think what you maybe meant to say was how much before you saw profit, which I think it was 4 or 5 years, only because I chose to put everything that would have been profit back into the company, and we still do, yeah. We still put almost everything we profit back into our company because otherwise we have to pay a lot more in taxes.
That and, you know, we always like getting new shiny toys.
And it's an investment. We're not like looking to sell the company, so there's really no reason not to invest back into it a lot. Next question, how did you get your spouse to love carpet cleaning?
That took a long time.
Get honest.
So, in a previous video, Dan talked about this too, about how I met Dan. I hired A-1 Carpet Care to clean my carpets for a move out, and it was not, what did you call it, filthy? It
was for a move out of an apartment or duplex, and it was the nastiest carpet
no, it was not.
We've ever cleaned to date.
Well, I got my deposit back, so it wasn't that bad.
After a lot of hard work.
He didn't do anything. He actually didn't do any work.
I did the hardest job, building relationships with difficult clients.
I wasn't on the last video of this. So the real story is that I hired him to clean my carpets, and his best friend Terry...
Shout out to Terry. What's up, Terry Blunt?
Terry was working with him. Terry cleaned my carpets, and Dan harassed me the entire time.
No, I
was sitting on my phone. I was in my car, sitting on my phone, like texting and stuff, like throwing out these signals like, hey, leave me alone. I'm kind of busy.
This is not true.
Kind of thing. And he just kept talking to me. And he was nice, don't get me wrong. And then he had my phone number because I was a customer.
Here we go.
And he harassed me for months. For months, he texted me cute little things about the weather and things like that. Anyways,
if you guys believe that, then
I thought he was cute. So anyways, we ended up going on a date. And what I did prior to this is I was a financial aid advisor for a university, and I did that for about 8 years. So I was used to doing paperwork and things like that. So as soon as I started to date Dan, I immediately started helping with the back side of the business. I started doing the invoicing, QuickBooks, deposits, paperwork stuff.
The stuff I didn't want to do.
Yeah, any kind of paperwork stuff, I did. All the office stuff. And I was fine with doing that. But I will say, when I first started dating Dan, the phone was annoying. His phone was always ringing, or he always had somewhere to go. When Dan was first starting out, if somebody wanted their carpets clean at 8 p.m. at night on a Sunday, he would do it. He would do whatever he needed to do.
I probably still would. Just saying.
So, you know, it could be Thanksgiving, we're sitting down for dinner or something. If that phone rings, he's going to go clean some carpets. That's the way it was. So I used to kind of resent the carpet cleaning. Okay, don't get me wrong. I loved the money. You know, my bills were paid and everything, but he was always working. He gave his all to A-1 Carpet Care, and now I appreciate that, but I used to find it very annoying until I figured out why he was doing it. I like to describe Dan as intense. When he does something, he does it wholeheartedly and with everything inside of him, so that's a positive and it can be a negative. But anyways, I wasn't always supportive. I used to resent it until, I guess, after.
I think you still resent the phone a little bit.
Sometimes. But once I got involved in, is that one of the questions too?
Later on, yeah. I think, yeah.
Well, how I got involved with that.
This question, because you haven't answered it yet. This question is how long, or no, how did I get you? How did you get your spouse to love carpet cleaning? How did I get you to love carpet cleaning?
I don't know if I love carpet.
That's the truth, right? You don't. So if you've been watching us for a while and you think Angela loves to clean, no, I love to clean.
If you notice, I don't clean a lot of carpets anymore because I don't have to. For a while, I am a certified technician. Like I went to school and everything. I do know how to clean carpets, but if I can make the schedule to where I don't physically have to clean the carpets, I won't, because I hire other people to do that. But I know how. But I do love it. But I like doing the office stuff much better. She
loves doing bleach spot repair.
Yes, dyeing and stuff like that.
Dyeing work. She likes to do the dyeing part of it. The cleaning part of it, I think she would love it more if she wasn't in charge of the phone. Yeah,
I agree. Before I was in charge of scheduling and everything, when I was just on the van, I really did enjoy it. It's a good workout. You get to meet people. I love
It's rewarding.
It's very rewarding. It's very rewarding, especially when you make a difference in somebody's life and they're really, really happy about you just cleaning their carpets. It is a great feeling. So I do love that. And for a while, I worked with other technicians cleaning carpets, and that was fun. It was fun to get out of the house, away from the kids, and do all that. And then for a while, I was actually working with Dan, and
that was intense. That was intense.
Yeah,
we had some moments.
Because, yeah, I don't like to listen to him. So, and he's the boss.
Well. Anyway, hopefully that answered your question. I would say the truth is Angela's not in love with carpet cleaning as much as I am.
I love the industry.
She loves the industry.
I don't know if I physically want to clean carpets myself.
She doesn't wake up with that urge to clean like I do. So the next question is, what brands or products do we use in our home to clean floors and carpets?
In our own home?
That's what it says.
Which floors?
Well, the tile floor, we professionally clean the same way we would do any other tile floor, which is a product from Shorebest, $27.90. But in between that, Angela uses a little bit of Pine Sol in a mop bucket, a big yellow janitorial style mop bucket. Probably what, a half a cup
of
Pine Sol?
Yeah, not even. It depends.
Maybe a quarter to a half a cup, and like 3 gallons of really, really hot water, and then she just mops it.
But you got to know how much tile we have.
We've got a lot of tile.
There's a lot of tile.
A couple thousand square feet downstairs. So the carpets, we clean those. Well, we don't really clean those because we only have carpet upstairs, and we rarely ever come up here. I think I've only cleaned them once or twice.
Yeah, once or twice.
And we just do it the same way. And that's one of the huge benefits of owning a carpet cleaning business. Because before we moved into this home, I would clean our carpets like every couple months.
Yeah, our other house, because that was carpeted and hardwood.
And tile.
Every few months he would do that. But our area rugs, we do have some area rugs. He cleans those about every 3 months. And our couch, we used to have a cloth couch.
Microfiber, yeah.
I cleaned that.
Yep.
He never did.
I did more than once, but Angela just remembers.
I did it like every week because our dogs kept jumping on it, and it was
Not
like a
every
tan
week.
color. Yes.
Not every week.
Yes.
So hopefully that answers your question. If you had more specific like brands of products that we use, we would say pretty much most products you use in the store or you can purchase in a store, not recommended. We don't like to go behind most products, especially for carpet. Hard surface, you can get away with murder pretty much, but
steam mop.
Steam mop is good. Maybe a little bit of lemon juice in the steam mop to keep it acidic.
Or vinegar.
Or vinegar if you would prefer the smell of vinegar over lemon.
It works well, I guess. Or did you mean in our home or like in general? Like
no,
in the
she mentioned the home.
Okay.
Is this a business you will pass down to your kids?
I didn't know that was a question.
It's a question.
So Marilyn already assumes that she's just going to take over the business. She's already assumes like me and Dan are out, and she's just taking over the business.
That's our daughter who's 9.
Yeah, she already assumes that. She said she's not going to clean carpets. She's just going to own the business.
So she's smart. She's smart.
And Warren?
Warren is 6, and he wants to own a restaurant with me. So a cafe. And so I think that may be what I end up doing next. I don't know.
I think that once Warren turns like 15 or something, he will be cleaning carpets with
More
me.
like 9, 10. What is Angela? Okay, that is all of Amanda's questions.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Amanda.
Yes,
awesome job. If you think of any more, put them in the comment section
Great
below.
questions.
My mom, Kathy Udy. Thank you, Mom, for watching. And what is Angela's favorite color?
So that depends. Do you mean like in clothing or just in general? Because
I'm thinking in general.
I love all colors but orange.
We'll go in general.
And that's Dan's favorite color, so that just sums up our relationship. Got to be the opposite. Blue. A lot of people assume my favorite color is purple because of my hair, but I do love purple, but I would say blue is probably my favorite color.
Thanks, Mom. Okay, Brian Peters, who actually, I know a Brian Peters who owns a landscaping company here. No, I don't think so. Brian, let me know. I don't think it's you. I don't think it's the same Brian that owns the landscaping company. At least your picture does not look like it, but thank you so much for your comments and questions. And yeah, so have you ever filmed I think it was blog, but I wrote blog, but it might have been vlog. Have you ever filmed a vlog that I didn't post due to the overall unhappiness with the final result? And the answer is no. I've never started filming some idea of a video and not published it.
Now, I will book a job thinking like, okay, Dan, you can go to this job and video it for, the vlog and everything. And he gets there and he's like, it's not film worthy.
Not vlog worthy.
Yeah, it'll be like immaculate carpet already and, or stuff like that, or too many people in a small space or something like that. So that situation's come up. But no, if he films it, you're going to see it in some kind of form.
I can edit it to the point where if there's some part of it I'm not super happy about, then I can cut that out. But there are, if you go back, and I know there's a lot, so I don't especially expect or recommend everybody watching all of our content, but you can go back and find videos that we published that they didn't turn out great. And I talk about that reality that,
that's a reality.
Yeah, not all the jobs turn out amazing.
Right.
The next question from Brian is, who has been your biggest influencer? And I'm assuming you mean on YouTube, and because, of course, my biggest influencer is not on YouTube, but because I'm relatively new to the YouTube world, I've been very active in social media, but particularly Facebook, up until just a few months ago when we started out on the YouTube journey. But the truth is, I never would have really jumped in to the YouTube world and to this whole YouTube video thing if it hadn't been for Miles Mays. So Miles Mays is of Advanced Cleaning Systems, and that's a channel. And now Miles has his own channel, Miles Mays. So Miles is a young man who works inside of his father's company. His father is a friend of ours, Chad, and this has an awesome company, an awesome business model, kind of similar to ours in a lot of different aspects, but also very unique in their own right. But Miles, he's young and has a great presence on video.
He's handsome.
And he's very handsome. And if you haven't seen his stuff, we would highly recommend jumping on over, not right now, wait till we're done here, but jump on over and check out Advanced Cleaning Systems and also Miles Mays. Really, really good content, amazing camera, amazing editing. And so he's been a big inspiration. But since I've jumped into the YouTube arena now, I have followed over a dozen other content creators, and I'm constantly looking for new ones. I'm currently kind of obsessed with Ralph Smart of Infinite Waters, Deep Divers 7-Day Vegan Challenge.
Dan's comfortable in front of the camera. Before YouTube, Dan was always going live on Facebook on different carpet cleaning groups. That was his thing. Dan's going live, so he was used to the filming aspect before
YouTube.
Before he ventured into YouTube. We had a YouTube channel before even like you're big on social media on Facebook.
Yeah,
wasn't active.
we never did anything with it. We had like 2 or 3 subscribers, and
'Cause we have an Instagram, we have a Facebook, we have YouTube, we have a TikTok as well. But yeah, that's...
So biggest influence outside of that would probably be Jim Rohn. I love me some Jim Rohn, but he's not on YouTube. So now his content is on YouTube. But the next question, so hopefully that sums it up, Brian. Thanks again so much for your questions. The next one we'll go to is my brother, Kevin Udy, who I think had a couple really good questions. The first of which is, which services do each of you love and hate providing? So we'll start with Angela. Love first. What do you love doing? We already talked about
I like doing bleach spots and dyeing and stuff like that. One, I can do it solo. I can do most bleach spots solo without the van.
So walk us through a bleach spot. How did you learn the whole skill?
I took a class with Chris Howell, learned a lot, and I still tried to practice and watch videos of him and people in our group and stuff like that. So that's how I got into dyeing carpet. But that's one reason why I like it, is I can do it solo. I don't need anybody with me. I don't need a van. I got very little equipment. I don't sweat. Yeah.
And it's very profitable. She can a lot of times make more money doing a bleach spot repair than we'd make cleaning the entire unit.
And it's very rewarding. It's like magic.
It is like magic.
And it's about color. You know, I really loved art in high school. I was the vice president of our art club, and it's very much like coloring. It really is like, it's like coloring a picture. You just need to know certain colors and how they work together and things like that. The color wheel.
And what do you love? Any other services?
I like carpet cleaning. I like when...
It doesn't say like, it says love.
Love. I would say I don't know.
You can't use the love word, yeah.
I would say I would enjoy...
Go ahead. What do you enjoy?
Carpet cleaning, if it's
What do you
dirty,
hate?
and it's going to come out great. I don't care for upholstery just because bending over, it hurts my back. If I don't
You
have
hear
to
that, Chandler?
If I don't have
You're
to like,
watching.
yes, if I had a stool and all that kind of set up like Chandler, for the longest time we didn't have like a table or anything for like the cushions, so you know, it's just the bending over and things like that.
Shout out to another couple influencers. One of the groups I'm involved with on Facebook is Cleaners Connect, and the admins in that group, Chad Mays, we've already talked about, Courtney Lee of Truman Steamers, and Chandler Thompson of Classic Care. Is that his Classic Care
Dan's
of
an admin
Atlanta?
at that group as well.
But anyway, those guys all have their own YouTube channels as well. Courtney's had one for many, many years, and he has a huge amount of subscribers and a very large library of videos. So those are influencers that have also helped me to kind of, get to where I'm at. But Chandler Thompson is a fine fabric specialist, does a lot of upholstery cleaning. What's up, buddy?
No,
Say hi to the video.
Hi.
Cut him out.
No, I'm not cutting him out. What do you need? Sure. You sure can. Say bye.
Bye. See you later.
So, love and hate. I love doing most things that we do. I don't hate doing upholstery, but I don't love it. I do love carpet cleaning. I love tile and grout. I love doing repairs.
I already know which one you hate.
Which one?
PCT.
Oh, strip and wax. I'm not a fan. I wouldn't use the hate word on that either. There's really nothing we do that I hate.
If I use the word hate,
yeah,
I don't. It's a strong word.
I don't like to use the word can't or hate, or there's a few other words, but hate is a strong word. Usually I reserve it for people that I hate. Just kidding. But no, none of the services that we provide I really hate. And if I did hate it,
we wouldn't provide them.
Probably would stop doing it, or I would charge so much that my hate level decreased. And we have those. So we have certain, like vinyl composition, tile, strip and wax. We don't do a lot of it. It's not my favorite thing to do. So when we go in to bid one, I typically end up bidding it pretty high. The next question from Kevin is what percentage of our business on average is repeat customers? You should have looked that up on
I
House
should have
Pro.
looked that up.
We can track that now, and we do track that on our, is it called CRM? Okay, on our CRM, If you don't know what that is, don't feel bad. I didn't either for many, many years. But I would say probably 60 to 70%.
Yeah.
But it's also important to note that most of our repeat clients or customers is a commercial account or a commercial relationship with a property manager or apartment complex or a job that comes directly referred by one of them.
Because we live in a military area, so there's people always moving in and out. So a lot of people don't stay here too long to be repeats.
Hope that answers that question well, Kevin. That was it for Kevin Udy, my brother. Shout out to my brother Kevin. Thank you so much. Next, last but not least, so we don't get this video too long, is Brianna Wellington. Thank you so much for your questions. Great questions. I have to say my favorite because you asked the most, and I like that. So that's great. So, and you know what? Now that I'm looking at this,
did I answer them?
No, well, yeah, some of them. But I was thinking I may have gotten somebody mixed up. Anyway, when did y'all start? We kind of already touched on that, but not really. February 15th of 2008 is when I closed on the purchase of A-1 Carpet Care. So we just passed our 12-year point in February.
Yeah, like I said, I did all the back stuff, all the paperwork and everything. I didn't start cleaning carpets myself until about
2 years ago is when you got certified.
2017.
3 years ago. Okay. And I cleaned her carpets 8 months after I purchased the business.
Yeah,
well, actually, my best friend Terry, shout out to my bro Terry. Terry cleaned her carpets about 8 months after I purchased A-1 Carpet Care. And then we started dating just a couple months after that. And then the rest is history. And even from the beginning, even though she was doing all the paperwork, Angela would come help me.
Yeah, I would ride around with them.
She'd go do floods with me late at night and do some other stuff too. So how did y'all come up with your brand name?
It came with the business.
Came with it, and
we did change the logo.
We did a rebranding, which hindsight, had I known then what I know now today, I probably would have changed the name right out of the gate. When I first bought the company, the main reason it was named A1 was this is back coming off of the phone book days where if you were A1, you were the first in the phone book, and a lot of times you were the first number that people call.
So you'll see that with a lot of business, locksmiths.
We have a local locksmith and a local pest control company that are both named A1 as well. So, and there's probably a couple thousand or more A1 Carpet Cares across the country.
Yeah.
So we didn't really come up with it, but we did the rebranding where we got somebody to design the logo, and this is actually a different logo. This is for the color. We did a whole new logo and brand for the carpet dyeing and the rug restoration because it's easier to market that as a separate service. So we have a separate website, a separate Facebook page, and we market that service completely separate from our cleaning service.
And there's purple at it.
So how did we do the rebranding? I met with a guy named Brian who was a client of ours for cleaning, and he did marketing stuff and rebranding, and he helped us design this logo, and he also talked us into getting our first vehicle wrap. Mm-hmm. And I remember like it was yesterday, and this is years ago, when we first wrapped the first van, and we only had one van back then, and overnight everybody in town was telling me, "Oh my gosh, I see you everywhere now." And it was so much proof that marketing worked really, really well. So the wrapping of a vehicle is because we're home based. We don't have a commercial location or a shop. And if we did, it wouldn't be on a prime street either.
And you wrapped our personal vehicle as well.
Well, that was long after that, but that's after we wrapped the second van. But all I'm saying is that was a really, really good investment of money. Wrap your vans. How is it now working through the virus and people are quarantined? So, Angela touched on the fact that we're in a military area. So the military base, I don't want to say it was unaffected by what's going on, but because of our whole economy centers around the base, and the military, it's not going anywhere. They didn't shut them down. They're still getting paid the same. So the economics of the military base haven't changed. at all. Therefore,
Well, people are still getting orders to move and things like that. So people are still moving in and out during all of this. And in Georgia, and other places too, if you move, you have to get your carpets professionally cleaned. So we're still doing move outs.
and that's a good portion of our business is move outs. We have seen a dip, probably about a 15% dip in our in-home residential cleaning versus the same time last year, but we've seen an increase in our commercial cleaning. So churches, businesses, we did a car dealership, commercial spaces that we haven't typically been doing are reaching out, maybe because of this, maybe because of something else, but we've seen an increase in that. So we really haven't had a huge change other than we wear masks, go through a little bit more sanitizing and cleaning up in between jobs. Obviously, we've always worn gloves, but that's like a for sure thing now. We're not shaking people's hands. We're doing the social distancing, or what I like to call physical distancing, because I'm still very socially not distanced.
Give everybody vitamin C.
We give our employees vitamin C. Hopefully that answered your question on that one. I think we're very, very fortunate in that we haven't been affected nearly as much as a lot of other cleaners in the industry.
I would say we're more affected, not just of the virus or anything. It's more effective that a lot of people don't want their carpets clean because their kids are home.
Maybe. So
like
now
a lot of rescheduling.
we've had a few rescheduled, which we always do. But this is a good one. What made y'all hire? And I like how she used the word y'all, which tells me we speak the same language. You're from the South.
I'm from the South, and I do not say y'all.
I'm from Colorado.
And he talks more country than I do. I still say you guys.
What made y'all hire more people to help? Right in the beginning, when I first bought the company, I was still active duty Navy, and that lasted for 8.5 months. 8 months I was doing both the Navy and carpet cleaning. So from the very beginning, it was apparent that I needed help. So I reached out to my father, Doug, shout out to my dad, thanks for watching. And he was living in Colorado, a manager at Home Depot at the time, and I talked him into coming out and helping me so I could more smoothly transition out of the military. But I also reached out to a couple of my best friends. We already mentioned Terry Blunt, shout out to Terry. Tony Frevert, shout out to my boy Tony and his daughters, Kayla and Elena, and Brennan, his son. But Tony came on board and worked with us part-time, Terry at the same time. Both of them had what I call real jobs, but they helped me a lot in the beginning. And we still do a lot of part-time, the folks that work with us, I think very few of them are full-time. We might, the closest thing we might get to full-time might be 35 hours in a regular week. So the truth is we saw the importance of, or at least I definitely did, saw the importance of hiring people to help us immediately. And it was pretty easy because if I just had one other technician with me, a helper with me, Angela hates the word helper. I don't like the word helper. But they were a huge help. So they were helper. But they were technician just the same as I was back then. I could get an additional job at the end of the day that would more than pay for their wages. So it just made so much sense to me in the very beginning to hire somebody right away, immediately, because it helped leverage my time.
So that's what I would have answered that. Leverage your time. Now it's important that we have other technicians is that Dan can focus working on the business instead of in the business. So he's able to go to networking events, do estimates, and
take a nap.
Do other stuff other than carpet cleaning. So it did leverage him in a way where it gave him time to do that and spend time more with the family and things like that. We used to never be able to take vacations.
Yeah.
Because, we had
no employees. Or the employees we did have were just helpers, or they weren't full-time. They weren't trained up to do everything that I could do.
Yeah.
Hopefully that helped answer your question. If not,
I would say leverage is the whole.
And next question is, how are y'all doing in general, especially with the virus?
What virus?
Well, Angela jokingly says, what virus? We don't watch the news. We haven't watched the news in many, many years.
Right.
when this whole thing came out, I significantly reduced the amount of time I was spending on social media because it was all into that. And I'm just a huge believer in the law of attraction and keeping my attention and focus on things that make me feel good because, so how are we doing? We're doing really, really well. I mean, I think...
We love spending time at home, so that was okay.
We don't eat out much because...
We wash our hands a lot anyhow. So, yeah, we
Has
don't
it
eat.
been a little bit of a struggle? Absolutely. Has it been stressful? Absolutely.
Kids being home, not being at school.
But in general, I think we're doing really well. We're
Yeah.
healthy. We eat really well. We go out of our way. I eat really well. We go out of our way to maintain a really healthy lifestyle that improves our immune system and keeps us, healthy. So, and we're in an area that really hasn't been affected hardly at all. There's very, very few, confirmed cases. But again, I don't really.
I don't
buy into all
personally
that.
know anyone that's had the virus yet. Not saying it's somebody.
I had a
doesn't.
client yesterday who had an aunt that died up in New York from the coronavirus, which of course, I need before I talk, I should say that I may appear to be somewhat insensitive, and I don't want to come off that way at all because I do realize that it's killed a lot of people. I don't know the number, and I don't want to know it, so please don't put that in the comment section below. But it's killed a lot of people, and people are really, really scared, and it's certainly something that is scary for a lot of people. On the flip side, the more attention and fear we give it, I think that's a bigger problem. So
Next question.
Actually, that pretty much summed it up. There is one more, even though you said, I hope these are some good questions, and you even said, this is my last one, but then I love it. You thought of another one, and you made another comment. Would you recommend taking classes for an inexperienced person, and what classes would you recommend?
Absolutely.
And then you said, please and thank you.
It's funny because I was helping clean carpets before I actually took a class, and once I took it, I came home and told Dan, you should be doing it this way and this way. He was like, yeah, I know. But
And so that was a huge problem with me, is that I bought a business from a guy who had had it for 7 years, and he taught me everything I thought I needed to know about carpet cleaning, and then I took that and improved upon it significantly. But the name of the game with that style of cleaning was just turn it and burn it. Splash and dash, in and out, as fast as we could, get as many jobs done in a day as possible, and get through them as fast as possible because we weren't charging nearly enough.
that was stressful.
And that was really stressful.
Because it was like...
Yeah, that was really stressful.
Yeah.
And to be honest, there's still days where I can slip back into, if I'm not being careful, I can slip back into that frenzied panic type style of cleaning.
Slow down. I used to tell him that. Slow down.
And I'd get angry because I'm thinking, you didn't bid this job. You don't know how much it costs for us to be here right now, and I do. And I always had my mind on the profit margins, and that was a huge thing for me, as I knew how much it cost me to be where I was, and I was watching that clock, and it was stressful. So now we pretty much bid every job before we do it. And if we don't, we give a range, a large range, that allows us the freedom to do the job correctly, take our time,
correctly,
and still be profitable. So, would I recommend taking classes for an inexperienced person? Not necessarily. And here's why I say that. We generated over $1 million before I ever took a class in carpet cleaning. Now, I'm not saying that's the right way to do it, and I'm not saying anybody could do that, but I think there's a huge emphasis, maybe too much, on the formal education aspect of what we do.
Yeah.
Angela loves formal education because she's got a number of degrees. I barely graduated high school.
I'd say there's always an ability to learn more. You're always going to be able to learn more. You're never going to be the most experienced carpet cleaner, because there's always something else, something new, some new machine that does better and gets hotter,
and even if you
new
take
chemical
every class and get
solution.
certified as a master textile, and you've got you can literally start over and retake those same classes, and by the time you do, things will have changed enough to where it'll be so that the
industry
ongoing
standard and stuff like that.
The ongoing education is very, very important. it is important to get certified. If you're just starting out, the first 2 classes I ever took was CCT, which is Carpet Cleaning Technician with the IICRC, and then WRT, which is Water Restoration Technician, also an IICRC certified course.
How long have you been in the business before you even took that? It wasn't immediately.
4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
I think it was about 4 or 5 years in before I ever took a class. And then I took the dye class, which is great. But it kind of depends on what you love to do. If you love to clean upholstery or you see a huge need for that in your area, that might be the best one for you. If you don't like the idea of getting into water damage, don't take that class. If you're super into like bio cleanup and you want to get into cleaning up after suicides or homicides, that's a huge, very, very profitable, so it's kind of whatever you're into. If you're not into anything,
there's one for just upholstery. There's one for just repair. I mean, there's classes on just tile.
Hard surface cleaning,
Yeah, I mean, there's classes for everything.
But
I enjoy the classes. So.
I do. I'm not saying that I wouldn't enjoy them. I'm just saying, you don't necessarily need them. And here's the other thing. You can get educated online now, of course, because of what's going on. But even before that, and this is going to really probably upset some people,
you can learn on YouTube.
I was going to say Rob Allen. He's got his own education courses. I've personally never taken any, so I can't vouch for him. But knowing him and knowing what he's built in our industry, you could probably gain a whole lot of education doing just that. But YouTube videos is definitely another way to educate yourself. That's not a formal education, but
now there's carpet cleaners that will have ride-alongs. You can go and
that's been around for years and years.
You can do that.
Ride-alongs are a great way to do it, which is just call up somebody in your area or outside of your area and ask to ride along with them and have them teach you some tricks of the trade. There are people that if you ask them in your local area, they might get angry because they think that there's competition, which we don't really believe in, but nonetheless. So yeah, you don't necessarily need the classes, but they definitely will give you a huge boost in confidence and teach you the right way to do it. So for 10 years, we didn't pre-vacuum as a regular, consistent thing in our business.
Yeah, the vacuum hardly ever came off the...
We didn't even have one in the van for years and years and years. We didn't even have a vacuum cleaner on the van. We just used the vacuum hose or the wand, which we couldn't have a glide on the wand because we weren't pre-vacuuming. So, and I think it's safe to say that most professional, if you want to call them that, carpet cleaners don't pre-vacuum. So if you just pre-vacuum, you're going to stand out a lot.
Yeah, giving away secrets.
Pre-vac. That's hardly a secret. But anyway, that pretty much sums it up. This has probably been longer than we wanted it to be, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, mash the thumbs up. A lot of times as I'm listening to something like this, I'll be thinking of other questions. Ooh, I'd love to know this or I'd love to know that. We would love to do another one of these. This has been really, really fun.
Yeah.
Doing cleaning videos all the time is kind of boring sometimes for me. So I love to do new things like this. This is awesome. I still love doing cleaning videos, but this is exciting for me. So if you guys have more questions, please put them in the comment section below. And like I said, we'll probably do another one of these or something like it. So yeah, thank you very much. Oh yeah, and of course, if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to our channel. Anything else you want to say?
No.
All right, have a good weekend.